I don't know who this Carson Wentz guy is, but he's trash, according to Josh Bailey, tuning into the On and Off the Field live show on Facebook, the award-winning podcast, On and Off the Field with Derf and Dylan, going live, just like we do every Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's not surprising at this point. We've been doing this for a while, right?
Yeah.
How long have we been going live on Tuesdays?
My
goodness.
June?
Okay, so not as long ago as I thought.
I think June, maybe May.
So sometime kind of in the summer-ish.
Spring, summer, yeah.
So this isn't new. People know that we're live. And Josh obviously knows we're live. He's here every week. And I was hanging out with Josh.
Yeah.
The other day on the show, where on the said show, Stay Tuned, that's the name of the show, I said Washington would beat the Steelers. My on and off the field Sunday prediction did not reflect said decision because I was too much of a pansy. I was like, it's a bold choice. I don't want to put it on paper. But, I was on the show having fun with the guys, decided to go a little crazy, say Washington would beat the Steelers. But look now I look like a genius.
There you go.
Yeah, he sure did. You're right. So just one more time for the people in the back of the award-winning podcast, On and Off the Field with Derf and Dylan. And we're going to get this show started because we got football tonight. We got things to do. So we got to make sure everyone out there is flossing. Recommended by 10 out of 10 podcasters everywhere. Follow, like, observe, subscribe, and share everything on and off the field related. And Derf can tell you more about those sweet deets.
Oh, yeah. All right. So you want to follow, like, observe, and share on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter by searching On and Off the Field or at OOTF Podcast. And you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Twitch channel because there's great content on there, just like right now with us being live on there. So make sure to subscribe to those channels so you never miss a minute. Make sure to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts so that we know how we're doing and what you like or dislike about the show because it's about you, the listener. Or the viewer, because we are live. And you can find all of these links at onandoffthefield.com, along with our fundraising efforts, our sweet merchandise, and to learn more about Dylan, myself, and this award-winning show.
I just decided to go check our iTunes because I haven't done that, and I have no idea when the last time I went and checked our iTunes. Or Apple Podcasts, whatever the heck I don't know what they call it. They
segregated it basically. Like Apple Podcasts is kind of like its own thing versus iTunes. Like, but it's all Apple Music stuff. So
it's because Apple owns everything.
Pretty much.
We're up to 20 ratings.
Wow,
actually pretty good. We have a lot of 5 stars, and then we have that one 4-star that came from F Mob. I don't know. He his review was great. His review said he loved the show, and then he goes and gives it 4 stars. The guy that gave 3 stars didn't leave a review because he was scared. And we actually have one new review.
Oh,
Miguel the Coyote says, On and Off the Field's a great show. Derf and Dylan work great together. Derf is quick with the weather updates and how will they affect games. And Dylan has the knowledge of a million dwarves and is there to drop the knowledge. These guys are award-winning, and they're always working on raising money for amazing charities. You will be a better person for listening. It's a pretty sick review.
That's awesome.
Miguel the Coyote. I don't know if I know this person. I feel like I should know this person.
Yeah.
But thanks for the review, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that one on social media.
There you go.
That's a good review. I'm gonna put that one on the website.
Ooh,
front and center.
Front page right there.
Yeah, that's front page news right there. Print it. Michael's in the house. What's going on, boss? Carson Wentz will start doing some plays at wide receiver. Mark my words.
Well, he can't throw the ball, so maybe he can catch it.
I highly disagree. Only for the fact because they had Jalen Hurts, who's one of the most athletic people on their roster, and they barely utilized him. They're not going to go out there and use a less athletic person
right
in these packages. Maybe he goes in there and does something weird. Like I don't know, but the fact that they didn't utilize Jalen Hurts makes me think that they're not going to change things up to incorporate Carson. Just my take.
Yeah.
That's a fun take, though. I don't hate on him. I'll never hate on any fan's opinion, Michael. I welcome all opinions because I just love talking about opinions. But that's my opinion about your opinion. How's fantasy football going for you?
Pretty good. I believe right now I am winning in our on off the field league, but I think I'm projected to lose by a point right now. So I really need Andy Dalton and Greg Zuerlein to just play absolutely garbage tonight.
Oh, you need him to play garbage. Okay.
I need him to get less than 24 points combined.
Okay. I think you'll be okay.
I think it's possible.
Yeah.
So if that is the case, then I will end up being 10-3 on the season. If not, I'll be 9-4. So I'm not worried about making the playoffs. I think I'm still got a pretty good shot at it.
I'm pretty sure the rest of us are like 4-8 in that division. So I think you're fine.
Well, yeah, I think it's in our division. I think it's me, and then I think you're like the next one. But like if you're ranking
I'm at the way bottom.
If you're ranking from 1 to 12, it's like me at 2, and then the rest is 9, 10, 11, 12.
Let me get the official scores here. Oh, I could possibly win tonight. I need Zeke Elliott to have a great game, but that probably won't happen. He hasn't had a good game in ages. I'm currently in 11th place out of 12.
Okay.
Yeah, you're 9-3, and then the next person in our division is 5-7. So I think you're going to be okay, no matter what.
How are the playoffs picked, by division or by total ranking?
I'm pretty sure maybe it's not by division. Well, you're still in second. Regardless, just behind Ryan's Rockers.
Yeah.
Who's having a fantastic season.
He is.
Josh also says Philly is doomed. They've been doomed for a while. Ever since they won that Super Bowl. Hope you enjoy another 50 years of Super Bowl-lessness. And Herbert got him 6 points. I'm surprised he gave
it's that much.
Yeah, that's pretty surprising. It must have been all rushing yards. 2 interceptions. I don't even know his full stats. I knew he threw 2 picks though.
Yeah.
I think I'm 1-11 in one of my leagues. I'm like 3-7 or something, or 3-10 in another, or whatever it is. I'm just doing bad. It's not a good year. Fantasy football across the board, not my year. 3 leagues, doing terrible in all of them. So that's a synopsis of mine. I'm just trash. I hope you do well in the playoffs. I'll pray for you.
Thanks.
Let's see. Let's get to some news. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Some NFL news. Pretty much some stuff we've already hit on, but the big one here was today was announced that, well, the old saying, you've heard of Elf on a Shelf, and now it's time for Wentz on a Bench.
Yeah.
It's a fun little meme. I saw that today and laughed really hard. I love the Elf on a Shelf rhyme memes. Those are great. Yeah, they finally decided to bench Carson Wentz. Jalen Hurts will get the start against the Saints. What a week to get your first start. Doug Pedersen can't do anything right. All right, I finally admit it. Carson's not that great. We're going to put our rookie Jalen Hurts in. A reporter comes in. Doug, you guys play the Saints next week? Don't you think you should wait? No, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. Don't worry about him. Jesus. But yeah, he's going to get the start. And the big question here, I thought I wrote it somewhere, but maybe not. I don't remember what I did. Oh, I put it in the description of this video. It's basically a couple of questions. One, is it too late for this? Is it too late? Can the Eagles save their season with Jalen Hurts trying to take the reins here with, 5 games left? Or does it even matter? That's the big one, because people keep saying, can Jalen Hurts save the season? We keep saying, can Jalen Hurts save Doug Pedersen's job, or is it too late to save Doug? Is he still going to be out the door, bring someone new in, and Jalen Hurts starts now? Or does it just not matter? Like, they're just going to throw him in there, they're still going to lose, and it's just like, it's all for naught?
Well, I don't think Philly necessarily saves its season for the playoffs. I think they save their season moving forward, but not for Doug Pedersen.
Too late for Doug.
I think it's too late for him. They drafted a young quarterback, and I thought he played well last weekend. I thought he brought a spark to that team, and I mean, obviously we'll talk about it in a little bit, but I think it's Doug Pedersen. I think took too long to realize that Carson Wentz wasn't getting the job done, and that Jalen Hurts probably should have started a week or two ago.
Yeah, probably a couple weeks. I mean, how long have people been calling for Jalen Hurts to get the start? Excuse me. So Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts came in the half, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So Carson Wentz first half was 6 of 15 for 79 yards. Obviously not great. Sacked 4 times for 22 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Hurts, 5 of 12, 109 yards, touchdown interception. Sacked 3 times for 5 yards. Jalen Hurts also had 29 rushing yards on 5 carries. Carson had 3 rushes for 18 yards. If you just look at stats, they each had a half to play.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just straight up look at stats, Jalen Hurts, just like you said, brought a spark to the team. They performed better under Jalen Hurts. Whether that translates going forward or not remains to be seen, but that's the news. The news is Wentz is now on a bench. We have Alabama, Notre Dame, Clemson, and Ohio State is the top 4 people in Brady college football.
Come on.
Wow. Shocker.
Oh, and Ohio State got canceled. The game got canceled this weekend too, so they're not gonna fulfill the required games played for the Big Ten. So now, how do you let a team in the top 4 who doesn't make the conference championship game you can't. You have to ignore them. No matter how good they are, you have to go by them and pick someone else.
If they let Ohio State in there, hell will be raised. I guarantee it. Cincinnati will burn college football to the ground. Cincinnati is just the one that comes to my mind. They're having a good season.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Strikeout Bear! Woo! Hey, strikeout. Here we go. This is local. K2's local, right? I moved my webcam.
I believe so.
K2 Winter Warmer 9.5 ABV. This thing will punch you in the face. This thing will punch you in the face with spices. My God, Dylan, you couldn't move your webcam for the podcast. I don't want to. I know I should, but I don't want to. I thought about it, but I'm too lazy. For one show a week, just deal with it. Hi. Looking at you. I'll move it next week. I'm not doing it right now. Deal with it. You'd be fine. It's a podcast anyways. No one's going to see this except people watching right now. This beer is very good, though. What was it? It was vanilla bean, cinnamon, tart cherry juice, and maple syrup. It's good stuff. Ooh. Oh, extremely lazy. Extremely. I move mine for once a week. And God bless your soul for moving it once a week. God bless your soul. I have to get strapped up in a green morph suit when I do my stream. That's a lot of work. I don't want to move my webcam, too. Speaking of which, real quick, that's the new logo.
Nice.
For those who haven't seen it yet. Green Man Streaming. You can find that. Twitch, Facebook, Instagram. I think are the only 3 places I'm on right now. Green Man Streaming.
Nice.
Bada bing, bada boom. It's a really sweet logo. I tagged who made it in my Instagram post if anyone wants a logo made by them.
Yeah.
There's no more unbeaten teams.
No, it's over.
They're gone. It's kind of crazy that it took this long. Like, this, you usually get to this point and you're thinking, that's when the conversations really start about having an undefeated season. It's pretty rare. Like, I feel like week 8 or 9 is when we normally lose all of our undefeated teams. Steelers really did something special. We have to acknowledge the fact that they had a good season. Undefeated streak, I should say. It's not like their season's over.
Right.
They had a good season. It's all gone. They're done. They went on a great stretch. But they did lose to the Washington football team. Alex Smith's once good leg got gashed and he was bleeding out of his freaking sock, like down his shoes. You saw that picture?
Oh, yeah. That was a gusher.
At first, I was like, oh, my God, that's his bad leg. It, like, ruptured again. He's going to have to go to the hospital. I was almost cried, and then I saw that it was not his injured leg. Like, oh, thank God. But this ends the conversation, right? Can we get this out of the way real quick? Ben Roethlisberger is no longer the comeback player of the year. Like, anyone who thought that, it's done. It's over. It's gone. You literally cannot say that anymore. It's over. Because Alex Smith beat Big Ben. They both came back from injury. And Alex Smith won. So it's over. Alex Smith gets the award. You name it after him. You put a picture of him. You put his freaking face and his leg on the trophy. That's the new trophy. I can't believe people thought oh my God, cut it off, says strikeout. Just give him a mechanical leg. We got the technology. I can't believe people watched that. What was it, E60?
Yeah, the Project 11.
Yeah, the Project 11 on Alex Smith's leg. Watched that. Saw Alex Smith come onto the football field, win multiple games, and then just be like, nah, but Big Ben had elbow surgery. Like, what?
No. Those people need to rethink their choices.
The guy had elbow surgery. Yeah, okay. And now he's having a good year. Like, okay, fine. Alex Smith almost died. God, I hate people. Oh, I just thought this was kind of funny. Well, I guess going back to our poll question that we had a few times, who would last longer? Undefeated teams would lose a game or the winless teams would win a game? Here we are. It almost happened in the same week.
Yeah, it did.
That was close. Well, technically, it would have been the winless teams win because that was on Sunday.
Right, that would have happened first, but it would have been the same.
Would have been the same week.
NFL week, yes.
Yeah, would have been pretty funny though. Here we are. Yeah. So if you picked undefeated teams lose, you were right. I don't remember who I picked. I feel like I picked that.
I think I did too.
I really thought the Jets were going to go 0-16 back then, and I still do. I found this funny, though. Mike Tomlin, after the game, said, "We didn't deserve to win." Oh, you didn't. So,
because you didn't.
Isn't that the stupidest thing you could say after you lose a game? We didn't deserve to win. Well, yeah, no kidding, because you lost. Like, obviously you didn't deserve to win because you didn't. What? Like, what are you trying to say there? We didn't deserve to win. I don't understand how that... Normally, that I would say that phrase when, like, we're down 30 points and then we come back in the fourth quarter and win, like take the lead and close out the game in the fourth quarter. Amazing comeback. Then you can say we didn't deserve the win because we played terrible for 3 quarters, but we like squeezed it out in the end. Like that's when I would say it. You know?
Yeah.
I just feel like it's weird to say we didn't deserve to win after you lose. Like you didn't deserve to win. Yeah, no kidding. Like obviously because you lost. It's weird to me. Strikeout Beer's wondering if we're using StreamYard. Yeah.
We are.
StreamYard just introduced 1080p streaming. So
you can see this beard in all its glory up close in high definition.
Every strand. Yeah. StreamYard's, it's a good platform. I'll just say that. It's a good platform.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. And then last but not least, this just close out with the Steelers here, just to add insult to injury. The linebacker that's been replacing Devin Bush ever since he tore his ACL, Robert Spillane, he has now suffered a knee injury.
Ooh.
1 week after losing Bud Dupree.
Yeah.
So with the injuries mounting and the run game just completely gone, like there hasn't been a run game for like a couple of weeks now.
Right.
And part of their offensive struggles. The Steelers' Super Bowl hopes also seem to be disappearing. Would you say so? Does it just look like things are just starting to look super bleak right now?
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be, I think they're still the number one seed for the AFC right now. So they'll get past the wild card unless, we get a major reshuffling of the 1 through 4 seed. Obviously this weekend coming up is a big one. That could change that. So I could see them making it through the wild card if they don't have a bye, but I think divisional round is where they're going to slip up. It seems like, they started out really well, and then now the injury bug, has caught a lot of their key players in defense, which, they were the number one defense coming into the season, and they're going to fall short. That's what it seems like.
And because before it's like, well, the defense, if the offense struggles, the defense can hold teams down.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as the season moves on here and they keep losing bodies, that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Do you know who has the number one defense in the league?
Not the Bills or the Steelers.
It's the Saints.
Does not surprise me one bit.
The Saints are the only team to allow under 1,000 yards rushing this season? No, that's not true. The Buccaneers and the Saints. So the Buccaneers I guess everyone's had their bye week now. So the Bucs and the Saints are the only teams to allow under 1,000 yards rushing this season. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But the Rams are right there too. I just thought I would look that up because you said the number one defense there got me thinking. NFL. Did you tag NFL?
It doesn't look like it, but I don't know. Like we can't see the tag in the chat.
I think he did. Yeah, he did.
Ooh.
Hey, thanks.
Very nice. Check us out.
Tag the Colts too. Are you guessing number one defense? Miami has scored the most points. Yeah, Miami has a pretty good defense. They had it all broke out there when they played the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've kind of just been pretty stout since then. Misunderstood the question. Tag. Strikeout Beer's always got our back.
Yeah.
Just tagging people. All right. Last but not least, Greg Williams was fired, defensive coordinator for the Jets. He called a cover zero blitz at the end of the game when up against the Raiders, and they left their rookie corner on an island against Henry Ruggs. And guess what? The Jets got rug burn.
Oh, but
That's pretty good.
And you know who the cornerback's name was, right? For the Jets?
I feel like I should know, but I don't.
It's the other Lamar Jackson.
Oh, no. That's not good. He talked a lot of smack.
So we had a COVID Lamar Jackson and a rookie Lamar Jackson who got rug burned.
Oh, God. That's depressing. Maybe who's the better Lamar Jackson right now? God, they're both bad. We just got done talking over the weekend about how Lamar Jackson was the best running back taken in his draft.
Yeah. Seems fair.
Because you can't really put him up against the quarterbacks anymore. I like what you put here, though. You said Greg Williams is now most likely going to be part of the part of 2 0-16 teams because he was part of the 2017 Cleveland Browns.
Yeah. So wherever Greg Williams gets hired next, if he does, buyer beware.
Just make sure he's not the one calling the plays when you're up in a game and it's Hail Mary time.
Yeah. Apparently this was like the cherry on top for him though too, because I guess earlier in the season he had like made some questionable calls, and like Adam Gase and him went kind of like, they confronted about it, and Gase was like, oh, you know what? Let's see if let's work it out through the rest of the season. Like, don't fire him yet. Like, let's try to work it out. And then he pulled this. So he was kind of like, the Earl Thomas giving the bird to the Seahawks sideline as he's walking out. This is Greg Williams' version of doing that.
Pretty much. That's a good comparison. Jackson has been terrible. It's very true. Yeah, there was that problem between Gase and Greg Williams earlier in the season, and then after this game, you had your top corner and Marcus May come out and say some things about the call.
Mm-hmm.
So you already had players revolting against Greg. You already had the issue with Adam Gase. Yeah, he wasn't surviving this, unfortunately. Just one last piece on that. My only problem is Adam Gase came out afterwards and said, like, I should have vetoed that play. I should have changed it, or I had the power to change it. Well, then change it. If you know it's the wrong call, call a timeout. Say something. Do something.
Well, did he say that he had the power to change it? Because I heard that he didn't hear it until the ball was already hiked. Like, he was talking to another coordinator, and then he hears 0 in his headset, and he's like, wait, what? He turns around, and next thing you know, before he can call timeout, Oakland hiked the ball, and there goes Henry Ruggs down the sideline for the touchdown.
Huh. Maybe I misunderstood, because I was watching NFL Network, and they showed a part of his post-game conference where he was just talking about changing the play and stuff like that. So that's all I heard.
Yeah,
like, you can be right too at this point. I have no idea.
I mean, it could be both, because Adam Gase could have been like, you know what, I should have been paying more attention, so I could have vetoed that play.
Oh, that might have been what he said.
So,
it's a possibility. Yeah. I don't remember. It's the Jets. I don't pay that close attention. Startup Beer is going to lurk. He's going to go play Rocket League. Have fun. That must be Rapid Dave, of course. Yeah. Rapid Dave streams on Twitch and Facebook. Let's do our off-the-field MVP.
Yeah.
Geno Atkins of the Bengals still? Cincinnati Bengals? He's still there. He's been there forever. My God, he's old. He's been named the Week 12 NFLPA Community MVP for providing $50,000 in gifts, meals, and other surprises for more than 800 essential workers and undeserved people in Cincinnati during his 3rd annual Atkins Week of Giving. This is actually his 3rd year in a row getting the NFLPA Community MVP award, mainly because he probably gets it after he does his Week of Giving, if I had to guess.
Right.
But I want to read some more from this. You can go to NFLPA.com and they got all this information. This is where I get all the information from. But it's his 3rd straight season getting this award. Each time he does his outreach. The Bengals defensive lineman and his wife Christine stretched this year's efforts across 8 days during Thanksgiving week with an emphasis on those impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, asking for the public's help and nominations or acts of kindness included. Here's all these things that they did. Sharing a barcode for free coffee on his Instagram story while encouraging participants to pay it forward by purchasing coffee for the person behind them in line. Providing 20 undeserved kids in Athens, Georgia with a $5,000 shopping spree. Personally surprising 30 National Guard members via Zoom with $100 gift cards. Giving gift cards and Thanksgiving meal bundles to 25 graduates for free store food banks job training programs. Dropping off meal bundles on the porches of 60 immunocompromised individuals throughout Cincinnati on Thanksgiving morning, delivering Thanksgiving dinners to Blood Cancer Unit at Mercy Jewish Hospital and Christ Medical ICU Department, surprising a family at Cincinnati Children's Hospital with a Sleep Number 360 smart bed to provide comfort for a teenage girl facing a challenging health condition, providing financial assistance ranging from $1,000 to $1,200 to 3 additional families at Cincinnati Children's Hospital, arranging pizza deliveries to Newport Fire Department and Boone County 911 Dispatch, delivering donut breakfast to Hawksworth Blood Center for 250 staff members, sending lunch to local special education teachers, and gifting autographed jerseys, gift cards, and other surprises by mail and Zoom. Last but not least, earlier this year, Atkins donated $100,000 to Freestore Food Bank, which in turn provided 300,000 meals to families in Southwest Ohio, Northern Kentucky, and Southeast Indiana during the pandemic's onset. Whoo!
Wow, that's a great week of giving right there.
Holy baloney. So he didn't just like show up somewhere and do something or just throw some money at something. He did a whole thing. He basically
a marathon of giving.
He just benefited half of the state. I mean, he went to every hospital. He went to fire departments. Holy cow! I mean, that's like an effort to give back.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not just signing a check. That he put in work.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's great to see.
That's awesome. Love it. Absolutely love it. And especially in these days and this time, it's tough these days to get out there and do stuff like that. So God bless Geno Atkins, and God bless your NFL career if you're going to stay with the Bengals. My God. All righty. I got this banner here. What's Derf digging? I don't know. Derf hasn't dug anything in a while.
I haven't dug anything in a while, yeah.
Are you digging anything at this
You know what I'm not digging?
What are you not digging?
I'm not digging the post office right now.
Oh, hold on. There we go. Fixed it. What's Derf's? Oh, that's not right. Hold on. There we go.
Derf's not digging.
What Derf's not digging.
Yeah. So the post office, I went there today and standing in line, waiting. I was like six people back, and there was like, 4 or 5 people behind me. So like, it was busy. I'm standing in line in the hallway, and I can hear someone at the counter shooting the breeze with the mail person for like 10 minutes. I'm like, it's the holiday time. You go in, you give them your packages, you pay for sending them, and you walk out. Why? Talk to them on your own time, on their own time when they're not getting paid to handle my packages and ship them other places. Like, what in the world? Why?
See, I think you need to go on Rapid Dave's, his other show.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it's called, but it's basically just a quick show where he just complains about something that happened to him that day. Like one day he talked about driving and traffic and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel like you should be a guest appearance on there and just rip on the post office. Because that almost happened to me, but they were good. I went to UPS to ship some stuff.
Yeah.
And a guy came in to pick up some packages, like an actual UPS delivery guy.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was in the middle of a transaction with this lady at the counter, and this guy comes in and just like straight up interrupts everything. He's like, "Hey, are these the ones going out?" And she just looks at him and goes, "Yeah." And then comes back to me and starts talking to me and like help. It's like, that's what you need. That's what you needed.
Yeah.
Someone that's just like, snap. I got stuff to do. Let's go.
Yeah.
So impromptu, what Derf's not digging.
Yeah.
Now we can actually move on to our real thing.
Now we can do the recap.
The Week 13 recap. What happened this week in football?
Oh, all kinds of good stuff.
I mean, first up off the docket. What if I told you the Browns beat the Titans 41-35 and it was really not that close of a game?
I would think you're nuts, but I watched the game, so I 100% believe you that it was nowhere near close to that final score.
I mean, this is why we were messaging each other in the group chat. It was like at halftime. The Browns are up $1 billion to like 7 on the Titans, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I am not going to be that guy that's like, yep, pooped on them, game over, and walk away, and next thing you know, the Titans win. I wasn't going to be that guy. Luckily, the Browns, didn't do that. They came close, but they managed to pull out the win. And, Baker Mayfield throws for 4 touchdowns. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are obviously very good at football.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see Baker Mayfield do it like 2 weeks in a row. Is that too much to ask for? I feel like it is.
Yeah.
But I would like to see it become a consistent effort on offense.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this. As long as Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt are on the field, I think the Browns can win any game they want. I honestly believe that. There's so much talent on the offensive side.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of defense to go around over there. The secondary has its issues, but the pass rush and run defense is amazing. It's just the offense. It's inconsistent, but when they decide to play, my God, do they show up and play. So I really think they can win any game they want. I believe that at this point.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And, I think it got closer than what it did. And then, what it really should have been is, the Browns came out of halftime and, they're going to run the ball because it was working. But then, Tennessee stiffened up a little bit on defense. Well, running the ball runs the clock down. So that's how you win the game. You chew up the clock time. And, they had a couple stalled drives and so forth. But, yeah, the Browns, I think right now when the pressure's on, I'm not 100% confident that they're going to pull it off. But if they pick up that lead and they're just kind of cruising, they got it.
Yeah, no, I believe, no, that's a great point. Eric comes in here. 2 weeks in a row for Baker Mayfield does not prove his abilities as a quarterback. He needs to be doing it every game at home and on the road. Okay, I see what you're saying. After I said it out loud, now I understand. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I just want to see it become a consistent. I don't need him to throw 4 touchdowns in the first half.
Right.
I'm not asking for that. I'm just asking for, not as many turnovers, be smarter with the football.
Mm-hmm.
I need cleaner drop back passes. That's all I'm asking for. The defense, what I saw after they were up 38-7, showed they don't have any discipline in holding big leads. They are the Cleveland Cavaliers of the second half on defense. To be fair, that's what probably like all the teams in the NFL would do, though.
Right. Yep. You're playing prevent. You're just trying not to give up the big play.
Right.
You're trying to control the time of possession a little bit better. Let the offense continue to chew. So,
yeah.
But yeah, no, I
keep them in bounds. That's
right.
Really what you're trying to. I mean, this game wouldn't even have been this close if it wasn't for a fumble from the Browns at the end of the game there as well. It would have been maybe even one less score than this.
Mm-hmm.
That obviously didn't help, but yeah.
Oh man, that Derrick Henry fumble though.
Yeah,
that was so nice.
That's not the word I thought you were going to use, but yeah, okay.
Oh. It was just like amazing to see a running back that everyone thinks, well, for the most part, he's pretty well talented. He's a power runner. He doesn't fumble. I haven't seen him fumble very much. And just to see them...
Well, it's because his arms are bigger than the football, so it's pretty hard to get to the football.
Right. Yeah. He's standing up, coming into a pile, and someone just comes in and pops that ball out. Like, insane. Loved it. Like, I think that was, if anything, just added to the fire for this Browns team to, just rack up as many points as they could in that first half.
That was an impressive first half, without a doubt. Probably one of the best first halves of any team this season. Probably. I mean, craziness. The Raiders, we talked about this earlier in the show. We talked about Greg Williams being fired. The Raiders should have lost the game. I would say they didn't deserve to win. If you were here earlier in the show.
The Jets didn't deserve to win?
No, the Raiders didn't deserve to win.
Okay. I'm just trying to...
If you're going the Mike Tomlin route, we didn't deserve to win. The Raiders didn't deserve to win. If you're going to take like what I was saying earlier, if you win but really didn't deserve to win because of some luck, that's when you use the phrase.
Right.
Didn't deserve to win. The Jets didn't deserve to win because they lost. Like, God, I feel like what I'm saying is confusing, but in my head, it makes sense.
The Jets had the ball game, and they gave it away because the defensive coordinator called the absolute wrong call that nobody calls in the last 30 seconds of the game and allowed the Raiders to be opportunistic.
But where's the leader on defense on the field?
It depends.
Like, who's getting that play call? And then he tells the defense on the field, we're going 0. And they're like, okay, that sounds fine. Because even Marcus May, after the game, said that was a bad call. You're a leader on that defense. Tell them no. Like, call a timeout on the field. Somebody could have done something, but they all decided not to. And I don't know. Like, I get it. Greg should have been fired. I'm not disagreeing with the decision. I'm just saying you can't put all the blame on him when whatever was happening with Adam Gase, whatever the case may be, he got to the call late. That you had 11 players on defense that could have called a timeout as well. So that's my only problem with that.
Yeah.
But the Jets are still on track. They play the Seahawks this week. Oh, boy. I would love for the Seahawks to be the team to give the Jets their first win of the season. I would welcome that at this point. I hope the Seahawks lose out and miss the playoffs. I hope they do. We'll get to that game later.
You pulling a Danny boy here?
Yeah, I'm pulling a Danny boy. Me and Danny are more related than most people think. It's just my team's better more often. I try to be a little bit more optimistic, but when they do stuff like they did this week, I have things to say. The Jaguars lost to the Vikings. With that statement alone, you probably wouldn't be surprised, but they lost in overtime, 27-24. My goodness. If Glennon was just a little bit better, just a touch, you turn one of those interceptions into like just another field goal or not turning it over in general, they might win this game. And to be fair, both kickers missed field goals to win the game at the end of the game in the fourth quarter. So hats off to the terrible kickers in this game. But the only other consistent running back in the league besides Derrick Henry is Dalvin Cook. He had 32 carries for 120 yards. That doesn't seem like a lot because it's not. It's only 3.8 yards per carry, but the fact that he can take the ball 32 times is what this Vikings offense thrives off of. I was a little surprised by how many times Kirk Cousins did throw it still. He threw it 43 times, I think. So they had enough time for 32 carries for Dalvin Cook and 40-some-odd passes for Kirk Cousins.
That's like 70-something plays. Like, that's a lot of plays.
A lot of plays.
So yeah, a lot of time of possession. Holy cow.
But allows Dalvin Cook taking the ball that many times just allows for the play action. Before I forget here, Eric coming in with another comment. Right now, after that loss to Washington, Kansas City is officially the best team in the NFL. The team to beat. Patrick Mahomes is the last 5 games has thrown almost 2,000 yards and 1 to 2 interceptions. 1 or 2. I'm pretty sure it's still 1. No quarterback in history has ever had that many yards in 5 games. Very true. We'll talk about Kansas City a little bit later. Who's your offensive and defensive players of the year? Oh, TJ Watt is a defensive player of the year without a doubt. That's obvious. He leads defensive players in like every category known to man.
Oh, yeah. Him and Dupree had the highest stack total together.
Yeah. So that's easy. Offensive player of the year? Boy. I kind of wanted to say Derrick Henry, but he didn't. It's pretty off performance this past week. I'm going to think about that. I'm going to come back to that.
All right.
I have to think about it. Maybe after we go through these. Do you have any thoughts on this game before we move on?
I didn't watch it. Surprised it went to overtime. And from the highlights I did see real quick earlier tonight, Justin Jefferson will probably win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. No, that's 100%. Yeah, because after that Justin Herbert fiasco this week and Joe Burrow going down,
Yep.
No, that's a guarantee as well. I know Ryan France is in here. He just smashed the like button. What's going on, boss man? Welcome to the show, whether you stick around or not. Hey, Eric shared the stream as well. Thanks for the share, Eric.
Awesome.
Thanks, man. I will get you in my offensive player of the year. I got to think about it. The next game, I didn't watch any of this game, but I was told that this game was absolutely bananas.
Yeah.
The Bengals lost to the Dolphins 19-7, and apparently Tyler Boyd and Xavier Howard were ejected in the second quarter for throwing punches on the sideline, and there was fisticuffs later. I got the ESPN update about that the bench is cleared. Apparently, a Bengal tackled one of the Dolphins punt returners after he called a fair catch. Like he just came up and just smacked him for no reason. Did it twice.
And didn't get ejected. I remember seeing the plays on the highlights, but I can't tell you the name. I can't remember who that is, but it was amazing that he pulled that off and didn't get ejected. Got flagged, but not ejected.
I got to go find those highlights because that's just stuff that I heard, and I haven't seen any of it, but I feel like I need to go watch it because that sounds hilarious. I don't know any of the stats from this game. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you any of these stats. I don't know what happened in this game except for the fact that people were fighting each other. Beers in the chat from Ryan. Eric says if Nick Bosa was not out with the ACL and the 49ers were fully healthy, do you think they would have had a better year like last year? Yeah, 100%. Oh, my gosh, yeah. That team has just been decimated by injuries. I can't name a team in recent history that's been more destroyed by injury than the 49ers were this year. Like they had $80 million of cap space on IR at one point. They were down to like fourth and fifth string running backs. It was insane. And I guess you could say the Eagles too, but still, the 49ers. Whew. And we actually have Steven coming in from YouTube.
Oh, man.
This is our first ever comment from YouTube during the live show.
Awesome.
That's cool. I think he left. From what I'm seeing, he's not in here anymore. He just dropped the comment and ran.
That's okay.
But he said, should the Eagles start WAP over Jalen Hurts?
I don't know who that is.
I know WAP is a song. But I don't. If there's an actual person on the roster that's their initials are WAP, I don't know who they are. This might be a joke comment. I don't know what this means. What are your thoughts on the Rams and Cardinals? We'll get to that game in a minute. NFC West coming down to Rams and Seahawks, or surprised by the 40. No, it'll be the Rams and Seahawks. It'll come down. The Rams will probably win the division at this point. The Seahawks still have another showdown with them coming week 16 or 17. So that should be fun. So Bengals, Dolphins, that happened. A bunch of people got ejected. The Colts and the Texans.
Yeah. Really
not a surprise. At least the winner. I'm not really surprised by the winner. But it was a closer game than I thought it was going to be. The Colts won. Their defense getting the ball back when Deshaun Watson fumbled the ball as they were on the goal line about to score. And that's kind of been the name of the game for the Colts, though. The offense lacks at times. More often than not, the offense is lacking.
Right.
But, and then on the other side of the ball, Deshaun Watson is losing his most key pieces on offense, but still manages to score points. I don't know how Deshaun Watson keeps doing what he's doing, even without Will Fuller there. But still scores 20 points, almost beats the Colts. Dude's a magician. Someone needs to save that man's career.
Yep. He needs to go to a better team.
Just a competent team. For God's sakes, just
that too.
Just help.
Competent management.
Send help. He's just going to be one of those guys we look – I don't want to say it because I don't want it to come true. But Deshaun Watson's one of those guys we're going to look back in time and go, man, if only he was managed better. If only that team was managed better. The things that could have happened with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Depressing.
Those are the debates that you don't want to have. You don't want to have happen, but they do.
Right. I don't want to be sitting here 5, 8, 10 more years down the road and looking back at Deshaun Watson's wasted career. I don't want that to happen.
Right.
Ryan Francis, don't know a thing about sports, but I'm just chilling in here. Well,
all the merrier.
Thanks for just sitting around and listening. And if you learn a thing, ask questions. We'll answer all of your sports-related questions. It doesn't have to be NFL-related. We'll answer your questions. We cut out the other sports segment because we wanted to save time. But that'll come back once the NFL season's over.
Mm-hmm.
Is Deshaun Watson still a top quarterback after what he did? Yes, he's still a top quarterback, absolutely. Top 5 might be stretching it. Top 10 sounds disrespectful, but I think he's somewhere between 5 and 10.
I think it's closer to 10, but I would kind of agree there, yeah.
I'm not good at making lists off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's kind of tough.
So, I can't just sit here and be like, well, Patrick Mahomes, I can't. I can't do that.
I could give you a handful, and then I forget who plays.
Right. I have to look at a list. Shout out from Los Angeles. Eric's from Los Angeles.
Oh, snap.
We're in New York.
It's only like 4:00 there for him, so he's like end of the work day.
Home from work, yeah. I don't know how you found us, but Godspeed.
Yeah.
Tell your friends. If you had to name your top 10 quarterbacks in the league, but there you go. There you go. I was asking top 10 quarterbacks. I literally can't. Patrick Mahomes is the best in the league. Then Aaron Rodgers. And then I kind of run out. I forget people. Because I don't, if I'm not looking at a list, I'll normally leave one out that should have been ranked higher.
Right.
Because I'll name my top 5 and then I'll be like, oh, wait, well, Tom Brady should have been in there. Or I'll say I'll forget people. So we should do a top 10 at some point. We normally do that kind of stuff in the off season, though. We normally don't bother.
Right. Yeah.
We saw Cam Newton fumble the ball against Buffalo. Well, Cam Newton is no longer.
He's more like 20 to 30 ranking most of the time.
Yeah, he's low. My parents coming in asking about Russell Wilson. He sucks. He's like somewhere between 25 to 30.
Oh.
Coming here with that Russell Wilson talk, getting me all fired up. Should have took my Seahawks hat off the wall. Let's see here. The Lions beat the Bears. That was depressing.
Yeah. Wish I would have stuck with my Lions pick, but I didn't.
I was very confident in the Bears winning this game.
I was too, because they've had the Lions number for multiple times, and then even Mitch Trubisky has had the Lions number for multiple times, and then
you never know
happened.
What's going to happen with a change in coaches. You know,
right?
It's like sometimes you get a change in coaches and there's a spark and the team just turns into this amazing competitor. But then there's other times where they don't know what's happening anymore and it's just a disaster. They just lose. I thought the Lions were going to be on that losing side because it's the Lions.
Right.
But then again, their head coach is Darrell Bevell, famous terrible offensive coordinator for the Seahawks. It was depressing. I was not happy with the result of this game. The Bears had a lead for a while, but the Lions came back. I didn't really watch any of this game. I just kept an eye on the score.
Yep.
Wow, this is a question for Derf.
Oh,
Will Josh Allen have a better legacy than Jim Kelly?
There's only one thing that Josh Allen has to do to have the better legacy than Jim Kelly. That's win the Super Bowl. If Josh Allen wins one Super Bowl and never makes it again, still has a better legacy than Jim Kelly.
Buffalo will burn to the ground when they win a Super Bowl. If you thought the celebration,
there won't be a city to go again.
If you thought the celebration in Philadelphia was bad, just wait for when the Bills win the Super Bowl. Oh, I might have to relocate. We're in Rochester. I'm thinking I'm going to have to relocate. Had to go back home to stay safe real quick. Had to go back up north. Yikes. The Saints beat the Falcons. You know, I'm really happy that Taysom Hill got that second passing touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he only had the one, I was ready to come on here and light everyone up. Taysom Hill got his first passing touchdown. He was wide open by 15 yards. I could have made that throw. But luckily, he threw that second touchdown pass, and it kind of saved him. Yeah, but he did good. It was still the Saints' offense still kind of lacked a little bit. It wasn't very explosive. Right. Still only 21 points, but the Falcons, again, they just played them. They just played the Saints. And the defense, they still had no answer for the Saints' defense. I don't know what you want me to think. The Falcons just, I know the Saints, we just get done saying the Saints have the best defense in the league, obviously. And that's tough to overcome. But the Falcons, I feel like week in and week out could score 30 to 40 points whenever they want.
Except when they're playing the Saints.
Except when they're playing the Saints. And they even had Julio Jones back for this game. They're in full force, with the exception of Todd Gurley. Apparently he was a little banged up. He played, but not very well. And guess what? It's his knee. Who would have thunk? I remember multiple people at the beginning of the season telling me directly Todd Gurley was fully healthy and he was going to be fine. He has arthritis in his knee. That you don't fix that. That's just there. He's never going to play a full season healthy again in his career. It's over.
Yeah.
You just have to accept it, folks. I know you want Todd to be good. It's just not going to happen.
No.
Any thoughts?
I didn't really see anything from this game except for the wide open touchdown from Taysom Hill, and then the second one I saw that as well. And highlights. Other than that, I really didn't see much out of this game.
Not really anything.
I don't know. It's just surprising. We just talked about it. Like the Falcons just can't score against the Saints. Any other team, the Falcons put up 30, 40 points, and then. Now they can kind of seal the win, unlike the beginning of the season when they score 40 and then lose the game. But
and close to home there, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think if this is what the Saints want, they're 3-0, 4-0 now with Taysom Hill without Drew Brees.
They're just 2-0. Are they 3-0?
It should be at least 3.
Yeah, because Falcons, whoever Falcons.
Broncos, yep.
Broncos, yep.
Yeah, they're clearly holding the fort down for Drew Brees to come back, and they're still getting it done.
Yeah, I just think the defense steps up when Drew's out, and they've played just absolutely lights out. Eric... In week 3, when the Rams played at Buffalo, what was your biggest takeaway after the Bills were up 20-3 and allowing 29 unanswered points?
Oh, week 3.
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time.
Remember back to that.
Well, that was, that's week 3. We're still seeing the Bills' offense being super explosive. Defense was nowhere to be found, which was a really, kind of shocking for the beginning of the year still. And third quarter, it was the Bills' time, to kind of cool off a little bit. That's usually when teams took advantage. The Rams clearly took advantage in that third quarter against the Bills. Josh Allen had a couple of bad plays. They had the quote unquote interception when.
So salty about that, huh?
If they're, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm so frustrated. It's not going there. But yeah, they still pulled it out in the end. It was still good to see that, and you see the passing attack grow, even in that third week. And then now look at how they are now. I think it's insane how much they've improved just overall. But yeah, I think biggest takeaway is they were able to tighten down and get that score they needed to win the game.
You mean build down? You can't say Titan down. There's a team called the Titans. You can't say that. Yeah, that's trademarked. Okay. My parents said Philly didn't burn in 2018. I would happen to disagree. I saw a lot of pictures of things burning. And then TJ's in the house.
Nice.
What's up, TJ? Let's do a podcast like the show. Ryan, Strikeout Beer. Josh, like the show. Cowboys are the best ever. Huh?
This is not the podcast. If you think we're talking about the Cowboys in a great way.
Yeah, that kind of came out of left field, but we will dispute that argument many times over and over again. Hey, the Giants beat the Seahawks. That happened.
Yeah, I was shocked, but also at the same time, so glad to see the Giants team put it together.
No.
No,
you don't say that. No. Where did that come from? Why are you happy to see the Giants put it together? Screw the Giants. Colt McCoy.
I didn't like Colt McCoy's play. Right there, I didn't like that about the Giants. I was surprised at how inefficient the Seahawks seemed to be against this Giants defense. That they just seemed like scrappy, no name players. It seemed half the time, and I don't know. It seemed like a very off week for the Seahawks.
Real quick, Cowboys will win the Super Bowl next year, so says their fan base from TJ. Yeah. It's that them boys. This is our year. Every year it's their year. If it was their year every year, they might as well just cancel the NFL. Just give it to the Cowboys every year. Look, it was the Vikings game. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All the way back in week whatever, when the Seahawks played the Vikings played cover 2 man.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Wilson had no idea what was happening. For a guy who's been in the league 9, almost 10 years, he had no idea how to beat cover 2. His mind was blown.
Mm-hmm.
And for somehow he pulled off a win. I couldn't tell you how they won that game. They just did. Amazing game-winning run or game-winning drive down the field, like 90 yards. Ever since that week, this is what teams have done to Russell Wilson. They play cover 2, they rush with 4, and they get to Russell somehow, some way. And the Seahawks offense has become unbalanced. They give it to Russell Wilson to throw 40-plus times a game, and they only run it every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the Seahawks have become. And it's disgusting to watch. As a Seahawks fan, it's disgusting. This is the worst Seahawks offense I have seen under Russell Wilson in his tenure. By far.
Yeah.
I would not be shocked if they lost to the Jets next week. They have a new defensive coordinator coming in. He could change everything. The offense has not been terrible lately. They still scored 28 against the Raiders. I'm prepared to watch the Seahawks lose to the Jets. I'm ready for it. So feel free to just text me, DM me, whatever you want to do. When the Seahawks lose to the Jets, just let me know. I'm ready for it. Get to these comments real quick. Did you know that the New York Jets have changed their name to the New York Paper Planes because they're the only Jets that actually take off? That'd be kind of fun. Just throw like a little origami bird on the side of their helmets. I'm fine with that.
There you go.
Early prediction for AFC, NFC championship games. AFC was going to be Bills, Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
And NFC's so hard. There's like no runaway teams. We had this conversation last week.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to pick 2, I'd pick Saints, Packers.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. So there you go. And then Super Bowl is Chiefs, Saints. Let's go with that.
Yep.
The Saints finally get to the Super Bowl again with Drew Brees, but do they win? No. From Twitch, all the way from our Twitch channel, DarkSage9117. We had a YouTube comment and now a Twitch comment.
There we go.
That's fun. Have an interesting question for you. Let us have it, Dark Sage. Let us have the question. Eric is just shooting questions at us this whole show. I love it. Los Angeles Chargers cannot charge a Duracell or Energizer battery or my phone, even if it died. God, that's a hard shot at the Chargers, but they kind of deserve it.
They kind of deserve that.
Dark Sage, do you guys watch Army Navy at all? No, Derf might.
No, that's not one that I usually tune into. But I know it's a great rivalry. Don't know anything about it.
I saw their uniforms that they came out with.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah,
those are sexy. But I just don't watch a lot of college football in general. So I root. I mean, I know it happens. I root for Army because I was in the Army. So there you go. What does the game mean for your family or any memorable moments you have watched from watching the games? I have had family in both branches and have attended the last 3 Army. Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's really cool.
Unfortunately, you can't attend this one, so that kind of sucks. I have a friend who had a grandfather who was on the 1945 Navy championship team that tied the Army 21-21.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of funny. I don't have any memorable games, obviously. I just got done saying I don't watch college football.
Right.
I do root for Army just because I was in the Army.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, my mom's dad was in the Navy, I think. But a lot of my family has been in the Army in the past. That's kind of where we go. So that's my takeaway.
Yeah.
That's all we got for you. Sorry, Darkseid.
Yeah, there's
college football is not our strong suit.
No, not Army Navy. I can tell you that.
Yeah, especially Army Navy. I just kind of know what happens. Like Derf said, it's rival game. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't tune in. TJ, I do. My favorite college game of the year, says TJ, is Army Navy. All right. So that you guys can have a conversation. Darkseid and TJ, you guys will love each other. Eric says you lose 45-0 at home. Speaking of the Chargers, in a brand new stadium against the Patriots team that has been battling injuries all season. It's just straight up embarrassing.
Yeah.
The Rams beat the Cardinals 38-28. I didn't watch any of this game because I was too depressed because at this current time in history, the Giants were beating the Seahawks. It just seemed like the Rams had control of this game from start to finish. It got close at times.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed like the Cardinals never really had a real chance.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I completely agree. If it was any kind of lead change, I felt like there were some lead changes early on, and then it's kind of like, the Rams just like, all right, you stay here. We're going to keep going with points and win the game. So you just accept your loss and we'll move on. I know I didn't hear anything like super, like hype out of this game besides, the Rams won. Okay, moving on. That was it. There wasn't anything crazy from Kyler Murray that I heard of. There wasn't anything from DeAndre Hopkins. So, I don't know. Rams won. Cardinals are falling apart, apparently.
Yeah, they are a Hail Murray throw shy of losing 5 in a row now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough right now for the Cardinals. Real rough. But I didn't really pay attention to this because I knew the Rams were going to win. I was very confident with my pick that the Rams were going to win. So it didn't really shock me. I didn't pay much attention to it. They won. They took care of business.
Mm-hmm.
Man, these comments just keep coming in. I love it. If Bills play the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, what does Buffalo need to do differently, especially if they play in Kansas City?
Run defense.
Yeah.
But I think they figured it out, though. If you look at last game, the game they played against Kansas City, the run defense was not there. Patrick Mahomes didn't have to throw the ball a ton. I feel like the Bills have corrected that through multiple games in the week, this season. So I think they've corrected the issue from last time. So I think even going into Kansas City, I still think it's one heck of a game.
Plus, I don't think Kansas City's run game is the same as it was in the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
Clyde Edwards-Helaire has really kind of come down and became a rookie. And then Le'Veon Bell is he's just not Le'Veon Bell of the Steelers days. He's just kind of there now. If it wasn't for the fact that his name was Le'Veon Bell, we wouldn't pay attention to him playing right now because he's not doing that well.
Mm-hmm.
So that might help as well. Run defense got better for the Bills, and the run game for the Chiefs got worse.
There you go.
Not sure if you heard. I did hear this. I was going to mention it, but I got too caught up in the comments. Dez Bryant is out for tonight because he has the Rona.
He got the Rona.
Got the Rona, Dez Bryant. So he will not be playing tonight against the Cowboys.
So the Ravens might not win.
I was already in doubt that they win this game at all, but the Cowboys just give me no reason to believe that the Cowboys can win a game for the rest of this year. I have no reason to believe that. Let's see here. Aaron Donald kept the pressure on Kyler Murray. Every defense gets pressure on Kyler Murray. If the Cardinals have a weakness, it's that offensive line for sure. Mm-hmm. Jared Goff still needs to get rid of the ball. They need to be a lot more methodical when going for a 4th and goal from the 1. I mean that's I know Jared Goff better than I know myself, just because I watch so much football from Jared Goff, being a Seahawks fan.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff needs to get rid of the ball fast. It needs to be off of play action. They need a run game, and he needs a clean pocket. It's tough to get all of that when you're on the 1-yard line because it's a very compact space. And if you're asking him to roll out and try and find a guy when there's 22 people, 21 people just jumbled in like a 10-yard space, it's tough for him. That's a weak spot in Jared Goff's game. It is. Jalen Ramsey needs to stop doing stupid plays. He can't. That's just his personality. And if the Rams win out, they go 12-4, depending on how the Packers and Saints finish. They could easily be a top seed in the playoffs. That's fair.
That's very fair. They were early on in the season. They were like, "Oh, the Rams are just kind of doing their thing," and now it's really coming to more fruition there for them.
And in the offseason, before the season started, that I said the Rams were just one of those anomaly teams.
Mm-hmm.
They could be good, they could be bad. I have no idea what they were going to do this year.
Right.
I said they were going to do bad, but they showed me I was wrong, and they're having a very successful season. I'm not going to say very. They're having a good year. We'll see how they're
having a good year. Yes.
They'll probably make the playoffs. We'll put it that way. The Patriots beat the Chargers 45-0.
Oh. That was bad.
I mean, the Patriots got their first punt return for a touchdown in 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Anthony Lynn needs to be fired, right?
He really does.
I've been saying this for
ticking.
And they brought this up Sunday morning because I was watching some pregame stuff, and they were talking about, are there rumors of Anthony Lynn being fired? And they said, no, they're not really talking about that right now. They want to see where things go. This is before they lost 45-0. I'm guessing the tune has changed a little bit since then.
Yeah.
In a negative way towards Anthony Lynn.
Mm-hmm.
45-0 against the Patriots. And the Patriots suck this year.
Uh-huh.
That's just embarrassing. There's nothing you can say. That's just embarrassing. In LA, nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
Eric, they wouldn't have lost to Buffalo if it wasn't for a pass interference. Oh, I know what he's talking about at the end of that game there. Yeah, I know what he's talking about. That's called karma for that interception. Called karma in the business. And Cam Newton throws 69 yards and they score 45 points. Yeah, the NFL doesn't make sense. The faster you accept that, the easier this will be. What does make sense is the Packers beat the Eagles 30-16.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles couldn't stop a cold. They benched Wentz at halftime. Jalen Hurts took over. Now Jalen Hurts is a starter moving forward. They made it a game.
They did make it a game. I was surprised.
He went in there and threw a touchdown pass. It was a one-score game, and then Aaron Jones happened. But, plus the interception, Aaron Jones happened.
Yeah.
All of the above, the Packers ended up taking this by, 14 points.
Yep.
But still, Jalen Hurts gave him a spark.
Mm-hmm.
He gave, with the interception, it's a learning curve, obviously. You can't expect him to be perfect.
Yeah.
Especially against the Packers. That's our first taste of Jalen Hurts as a starter, and I liked it.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about it.
It's better than Carson Wentz. That sucks. The Chiefs beat the Broncos 22-16. I watched this entire game, and I was just dumbfounded. Like, what were the Broncos doing that really just confused the Chiefs? They couldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see that Tyreek Hill catch, non-catch thing?
I don't think I did.
It was nuts.
Yeah.
Like, Tyreek Hill deep down the field, like early in the game, maybe first quarter, deep pass. He's got like 3-4 yards of separation, easy catch, but he kind of bounces off his helmet. And he's like, all right. So it bounces in the air. He gets tackled at the same time. The ball's just kind of like in the air, and the Tyreek Hill, they both go to the ground, and the ball is facing the opposite direction of the camera. So obviously that ball hit the ground. It's a drop, it's whatever. The Chiefs go and punt the ball because that was third down. Upon further review, just for fun,
yeah,
Tyreek Hill somehow, you can't even say he caught it. The ball landed between the defender's helmet and Tyreek Hill's like shoulder pad, and he actually caught that ball just by dumb luck. Like, you have to go watch the play because my play-by-play doesn't do it justice. It was absolutely insane. Because he thought it hit the ground. He just stood up, threw the ball to the ref, and walked to the sideline, and then they punted the ball. And then Andy Reid goes up to Tyreek after watching the replay on the big screen. He's like, "Why didn't you tell me you caught it?" Tyreek's like, "I didn't know I caught it." that ball was legitimately in the air and just landed in his arms, and he had no idea. It was insane.
That's awesome.
If the Chiefs would have lost this game and we looked back at that play, that would have been funny. Eagles that are doing well are the ones on the back of quarters. Shots fired.
Oh.
And that game should have been a blowout by KC. Kelsey and Hill dropped passes that could have been big plays and touchdowns. This game could have easily been 35 or 42-16. I don't disagree with that. Yeah. It was just kind of a weird game for the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah.
Playing down to their opponent a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The Washington football team beat the Steelers. We talked
Speaking
about
of playing down to your opponent.
Oh, way down. Like less points than your opponent kind of down. The Steelers deserved to lose this game, according to Mike Tomlin. Or they didn't deserve to win this game, according to Mike Tomlin, which they didn't win. So why would you say that? Do you get my point with that? Like, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense to say that. We didn't deserve to win. Well, no kidding, because you lost. Like, God,
right.
I hate
that saying should only be used like not in a press conference and when you win by some weird play call or something.
Like the Raiders and the Jets.
Yeah.
Like the Raiders didn't deserve to win that game, but they did off of luck.
Tomlin should have been like, we lost the game because we sucked.
Right. Simple as that.
Moving on.
Easy peasy. Tomlin's always got something to say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, down 14-0 at the half. Alex Smith gets a cut on his leg. He's bleeding on his shoe. But they come back and win 23-17 to seal the deal, both on the Steelers' undefeated season. That's no longer a thing. And Alex Smith winning comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
It's over. The conversation's over.
Absolutely.
You can't talk about it anymore. It's just going to happen. So, watch J.J. Watt get comeback player of the year. Just comes out of nowhere. The dark horse comes out of nowhere. Oh, my. Look at this. Breaking news. Dez Bryant tweets he will call it a quit for rest of the season after a late scratch versus the Cowboys due to COVID-19.
Really?
He's just calling it quits for the rest of the season. Oh, my.
That's a failure to commitment.
Give this man a call for an interview. I need to know why. Is the only reason he came back was to play the Cowboys, and now he can't play, so he's done?
Oh, that could very well be.
Wow.
Like, were the Cowboys and Saints playing the year he joined the Saints?
I couldn't tell you.
I couldn't tell you either, but like if that's the reason why he's trying to come back to a certain team, interesting.
Wow.
He's
just
very bitter.
Calling it quits. That's crazy. I'm kind of shook right now. All right. And last but not least, the one we got here is the Bills at the Niners. The Bills won 34-24. Josh Allen played really well. I know that much.
Yeah, he did.
My God.
Oh, man, did he play well.
Whew. Go ahead and take it away. What did you see from your Bills?
The defense showed up, especially at those goal line stands. Oh, man, did I love that. You know, that was the biggest thing I was afraid of with the 49ers was their run game. You know, Mostert was probably going to have 110 yards. You know, like it's going to be one of those games where we can stop them a couple times, and then, you know, hopefully the offense is enough for the Bills to win the game. Not the case. You know, Mostert and I want to say Jeff Wilson Jr. I believe both of them were under 100, but they were under 50 yards, I think, at halftime each. So, you know, it was really...
And there's your thing we were saying earlier. The run defense is fixed.
Yeah. So, I mean, that really... I was surprised, and it's great to see that. You know, the Bills, they kind of just had their way with that 49ers defense. You know, as soon as the 49ers went to man, you know, the Bills were picking them apart. Because you can't not double cover Stephon Diggs. You can't not double cover Cole Beasley. You know, Gabriel Davis is out there. Then you get your tight ends. You know, Dawson Knox has a couple good plays. He had a touchdown. Yeah. So, you know, the offense was firing on all cylinders. I was surprised. And this is something that I've noticed in the last few weeks is the Bills, you know, they get Stephon Diggs the yardage and the catches because, you know, he just hit over 1,000 yards for this game. But he doesn't have a ton of touchdowns. So I don't know what the deal with that is right now. You know, I feel like Diggs is a different person, but I'm still being a little cautious as to, like, maybe we should be getting a little bit more attention in the end zone. You know, give him the opportunities. I mean, he's great catcher. Great, you know, he gets where he needs to be to get the first down. You know, he's toe tapping the sideline. I don't know. It just seems odd that nothing's imploded with that yet, which, you know, hopefully it doesn't, but I'm still nervous for it to happen.
The only guy that I've heard complain that he has 1,000-yard receiver on his football team.
I'm just thinking, you know.
I'm just thinking. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
You have so many other targets.
I know. That's the thing, though, too. Like, I think but I think that's also why Diggs hasn't, like, been more, you know, more of his quote-unquote diva from Minnesota is because the team's winning. And he has a ton of talent around him in that wide receiver core. So, you know, I think he's just kind of like, he knows he's taking the double team, and it lets other people get open. You know, I think when John Brown comes back next week, I think he's eligible to come back. That could be where we start to see Diggs get those touchdowns again because people's covered John Brown because John Brown runs the deep route a lot of the time. So maybe it's just not the right group of receivers, you know, to favor Diggs and more opportunities. But, you know, Diggs is still clearly getting the job done for the Bills. I think that, you know, a shift to the 49ers a little bit here. Nick Mullins, he got more and more frustrated when he had these errant throws or, the 2 interceptions and, when the run game wasn't there. So, Shanahan's calling more pass plays because, they were down more than what the end score here is. And, they're trying to get those chunk yard plays because the run game couldn't get them. And, Buffalo played it smart. They mostly 4-man rushes. They were still getting to Nick Mullins. It gives you the coverage and, downfield to cover up everything. So it was just to me, it was like a great, well-rounded game by the Bills.
Yeah, when you win a game, it's pretty good. It's a good feeling when your team wins, huh? It's a good feeling.
I know your pain, Dylan, because I did years of the Bills being 4-12, 5-11, 6-10.
I did my time too. I had Charlie Whitehurst and Tavares Jackson for a while. The Seahawks had their little mini stretch too.
Yeah, that's very true.
Every fan of every team has had their moment. Everyone's been there. It's not fun.
No,
but not like the Seahawks are there right now. We're still in it.
Yeah.
Dez just tweeted out he's done for the rest of the season from TJ. Yeah, we just covered that right before we started talking about the Bills. And right now, Lamar Jackson is 3 for 4, 8 yards and an interception on the day. Not great.
Oh, boy.
Cowboys are up 3-0. And then Eric says if Josh Allen plays like how he did last night, he has no doubt that Buffalo can play KC in the AFC Championship game. Which is, that's where we have him heading.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys-Ravens happening right now. So we're 9-5 after this week with 1 game pending. And if the Ravens lose this game, their season's over.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The AFC is stacked right now.
Yeah, it really is. And, they're on the outside looking in right now still, too. So if they lose, that's about game over.
Yeah. And even having the easiest schedule in the NFL moving forward for the Ravens, that still seems like a tall task. No more bye weeks. We have 16 games next week.
Oh, yeah.
So the first, we're going to do our predictions. We'll try and run through them quickly so we can all go watch football. Oh, look at that. Lamar Jackson up the middle, 37-yard touchdown run.
That was quick.
All righty then. And this is why we want to we got to go watch football. All right.
Yeah.
We're going to try and clean up the show for you. We have, we've had a lot of great viewers, a lot of great comments. Yeah. I appreciate everyone tuning in and sticking with us here tonight. This is what makes for good shows. The comments, the interaction, the questions. I love it. Mm-hmm. So first one on the docket, the Patriots at the Rams. Thursday Night Football.
Finally, we get Thursday Night Football again.
Finally, we get Thursday Night Football, and finally, we have a good game. I'd like to think. The Patriots seem like they're kind of on a tear, but so are the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit of a Super Bowl rematch. That might be why they put it in prime time.
Yeah.
It's like a mini Super Bowl rematch, although the Patriots are a completely different team. The Patriots have been playing well. I'll give them that. I believe they're staying out in California because they just played the Chargers and now they're going to play the Rams. So they actually stayed out there on a short week. That kind of benefits them. So now they're not in foreign territory for an extended period of time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the Rams. The Rams have been playing very well.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff, with the exception of one game, has been playing pretty close, as close as you can get the lights out these past few weeks. And the Patriots still seem sporadic. I know they just won 45-0, but I still, like Eric got done saying, Cam Newton did not need to do anything. It was the run game. It was the defense. It was the special teams. I don't think the Rams are going to allow that many mistakes to happen, although it did happen to the Dolphins, but that was in Miami. I think they'll be more comfortable at home. I think they take care of business.
No, I agree. Yeah. The Rams are playing well, and I think they're the more complete team right now between these two. So I think the Rams just, they squash their Patriots playoff hopes, and they just keep winning.
Yeah, if the Patriots didn't go on this little winning stretch they have going on, this wouldn't be as interesting, but it's something to keep an eye on.
Mm-hmm.
The Texans at the Bears. Gonna take Texans. They just lost to the Lions. The Bears did, so it's hard for me to believe that the Texans are gonna drop this one.
Yeah, as long as Deshaun Watson doesn't have that, that fumble, as long as he can shake off that fumble, I think Texans, should have a pretty nice day of this.
And then the Cowboys at the Bengals.
Cowboys.
Hey, can you do the predictions real quick? I gotta bounce off real quick. I'll try and be back ASAP.
Sounds good.
Family duties.
You got it. Alrighty. So Cowboys, the Bengals, I think taking the Cowboys here. The Bengals are just they're struggling. They're apparently playing feisty, but I think the Cowboys might have a better chance here taking the win. I'll move on to Chiefs at Miami. This is going to be a game to watch. Especially to see how this Miami defense, holds up against, Kansas City. I think Dylan and I are both taking the Chiefs right now. Dylan's got his, kind of highlighted here. I asked him about it earlier before the show, and it's kind of like it's the game to watch, but it's also, the one where Dylan might feel intrigued to pick the Dolphins to win this game. I'm taking the Chiefs. I feel pretty confident with the Chiefs. They're just they're the team to beat right now, especially in the AFC. Chiefs all day. And all right, so now we have Cardinals at Giants. This is another 1:00 game. Cardinals, they're just not having a good time right now. The Giants is coming off that win for the Seahawks. Dylan and I are both taking the Giants currently. I had this game kind of circled here. I might take the Cardinals in this game. You make sure to check the On and Off the Field Sunday post of our picks. That's when we finalize everything. This is kind of just to tell you what we're thinking, how the game should go. But as of right now, we're agreeing with the Giants to, get 2 in a row, hopefully keep up with the Washington for that lead on the NFC East. So we do have a little bit of Derf Doppler here in this game. And it's a little bit of an interesting one because... Let me pull up Derf Doppler here. The chance of rain, which, isn't a big deal. Football players play in rain all the time. But this is one of 2 games where we have an air quality risk to sensitive groups. People who have any kind of breathing issues. Apparently, the air is going to be bad in that area. Not entirely sure exactly why. It's kind of something new that I saw tonight. I was getting everything together. So Sunday could be, that you could see players on the sideline with oxygen masks on. Wonder how they would do that with COVID. To be paper separate. Everyone has their own tank. I don't know. So you could have. Some player issues here, endurance issues during the game, but taking the Giants. And let's see here. Yeah, you can tell I don't do the banners as much because Dylan's usually running that part of the show, but we'll get in there. All right, we have Vikings at the Buccaneers. As much as the Vikings are playing well with Dalvin Cook, they're playing in Tampa. It's a regular, 1:00 game, I believe. So, the Bucs are under the lights, so this should be the Buccaneers winning this. Buccaneers in prime time don't play well, but I think the Bucs here, take the win. Nothing to note on Derf Doppler here. Everything should be good for the next few games. But we do have a couple other ones I want to talk about for sure, weather-wise. All right, we have the Denver Broncos at the Carolina Panthers. And, as much as the Broncos played well against the Chiefs, definitely probably looking at the Panthers to, come off their bye week and just play a lot better. They should be getting Christian McCaffrey back full-time. They should be getting Teddy Bridgewater back full-time. So, look for the Panthers to, have a good game against the Broncos defense that the Chiefs, they had a slow start against, but they got the job done. All right, so everything so far Dylan and I are agreeing on. I believe that as of right now, I believe that is the case the rest of the way. But obviously Sunday, check out our social media posts, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and for our final picks of the week. Alrighty, we have the Titans at the Jaguars. Titans should get a bounce back game here. The Jags play a lot of teams tough. This could have upset alert all over it, but I'm going to take the Titans here. So is Dylan. I think Derrick Henry's probably going to have himself a really good day against the Jacksonville Jaguars. We haven't seen a ton of play. We haven't seen a ton of defense of action from the Jaguars, against the run. But yeah, I'm taking the Titans here. Alrighty, we're looking at Colts at the Raiders. And this is another good one. This is one that I have circled, but Dylan doesn't quite have circled. As game of the week, kind of keep an eye on, or it could go back the other way. We're both picking the Colts right now. But man, if that Raiders team, they gave up a lot of points to the Jets, so the fact that the Jets are 0-12 doesn't make you feel good about the Raiders because they barely won. The Colts, they have an opportunistic defense. The offense does just enough. I saw Jonathan Taylor getting moving against the Texans this past weekend. So, yeah, I think I'm feeling pretty good with the Colts, but, we'll see on Sunday. All right, here we go. Jets at Seahawks. Dylan and I are both taking the Seahawks. There is a little bit of Derf Doppler here with 51 in rain. Shouldn't be terrible. It's typical weather in Seattle in the upper Northwest. But as Dylan said earlier, he wouldn't be surprised if the Jets get this one. The Seahawks give them their first win. But as of right now, we're taking the Seahawks. All right, next we have Packers at Lions. As good as the Packers played last week, I don't see them stopping, even though it's a divisional game in Detroit. Yeah, I'm taking the Packers here, and so is Dylan. They're playing in a dome. There's no weather issues here. So, yeah, we're taking the Packers. Should be a good game for Aaron Rodgers if I had to guess one player is going to have a good game. Alrighty. And like we talked about earlier tonight, the Saints are playing the Eagles in the 4 o'clock time slot in Philadelphia. And we do have a little bit of intrigue, Derf Doppler here. Chance of rain, similar to that Giants game. There is an air quality risk, for sensitive groups in the Philadelphia area. So, if you're in the Philly area and, if it's, stops raining for a little bit, be careful out there. We don't need any more, health issues from people who can, prevent it. So, be careful out there. And, as much as Jalen Hurts gave that team a spark against the Packers, I think he's going to he's going to put up a fight against the Saints, but the Saints' number one defense right now is probably going to take over this game. And so right now, Dylan and I have the Saints winning against the Eagles. And we move on to the Atlanta Falcons traveling all the way over to Los Angeles to play the Chargers. Chargers are pretty bad. And the Falcons have an offense. So they're I don't think it's another shutout for the Chargers, but the Falcons should win. They should win probably pretty convincingly here. I think that's about all you need to say to that game. Alrighty, next up on the 4 o'clock slot, we have Washington traveling to Arizona to play the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers are still playing in Arizona as their home dome. But we saw Washington play so well in the second half against the Steelers. And, granted, the 49ers do have they're decent. They're just injury-riddled, COVID-riddled, just missing players, injuries, all over the place. I think the loss against the Bills might have them down a little bit. This could be where they, instead of fighting for, a spot in the playoffs, now we're looking at, now they're just kind of in a free fall mode here. So I think Dylan and I are both right now taking the Washington football team to get this, just another notch on that resume for Alex Smith to get comeback player of the year. So look out for the Washington football team to win against the 49ers. And after you get through all of those games and you've been waiting all day for Sunday night, it is the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Buffalo Bills. That is going to be my game of the week because, Bills fan. But it is going to be one heck of a game. And I'm taking the Bills, and Dylan's taking the Bills. I hope the Steelers don't come play angry against the Bills. After losing to Washington, they seem to be heading in the wrong direction for the Steelers. So I'm hoping it's back-to-back losses for the Steelers, and the Bills move on to 10-3. So Bills, go Bills. Should be good weather. If it was played earlier in the day, I'd be worried about some rain and snow, but should be good for the night. And at the end of the week, we come to the Ravens at the Cleveland Browns. Whew, that's a good Monday night game. We haven't had one of those in a while, it seems like. But I'm looking, besides last night, it's been hit and miss with Monday night games. It's going to be cold in Cleveland, but weather should be good. And, we're taking the Browns. We picked the Ravens to win tonight against the Cowboys. I just think the Browns are a much more complete team right now than the Ravens seem to be. So, they clearly showed it against the Titans. I'm taking the Browns. Dylan's taking the Browns. And those are our picks for Week 14. Oh, not too bad. Hour 45 on the show. But yeah. So that is on and off the field in a nutshell for this episode on this great Tuesday night. Wow, we have Tuesday Night Football. So if you're still here, go watch some football. And Dylan and I will see you next Tuesday because Mama didn't raise no wussies.